Okay, to be clear, thank you, it's a good question. To be clear, that $750 million is still in the budget. That's the amount of money that has been taken out of TAFE's secure budget and put into the competitive market. And all we're saying is take it out of the competitive market and put it back into TAFE. It's budget, that part of the exercise is budget neutral. I happen to believe that TAFE probably needs another $250 million a year for at least 4 years to recover, because it's lost critical components of its workforce, and that money, and I can tell you where I'd get that money from straight away, which is the funding of extremely wealthy private schools. You know, this state hands over $1 billion a year, the state alone hands over $1 billion a year to the non-government school sector, and the Commonwealth hands over another $3.2 billion a year. They're awash with cash while TAFE is being starved to death. But leaving that aside, that $750 million, it's still being forked out. The expensive part, not expensive, but the part that we need to do, which does require new money, is to take TAFE fees down to zero. My estimates is that leaving aside the complex issue of diplomas and advanced diplomas, our estimate is that's about $100 million a year ongoing that TAFE will need from student to replace student contributions. Why would this government do this? Because we're going to make it impossible for them to not do it. It really doesn't matter whether they're Liberal, Labor, Green, Christian Democrat or Shooters. In the end, every politician has to confront the voters sooner or later. And the very best politicians are those that have been made terrified of the voters by threats from the voters to go elsewhere with their vote. And that's what we've got to do. The federal election and then the next state election, we've got to make it absolutely clear that no political party that lacks a commitment to TAFE will ever get our vote, ever again.
Bob's just suggested that we get online and use pen and paper or whatever medium we do to write to politicians, and you're suggesting that we talk to 2 people each. Are there other ways that we, humble little people, can actually do something to make a difference? Absolutely.
Our Day of Action Hands Off TAFE on Monday of last week had a series, and I think they're still up on my website. If you just Google my website, or Google my name, TAFE Day of Action, you'll come to a page that has a whole series of things you can do. You can, and let me give you some examples. The very best, and somebody mentioned this before, the very best thing you can do is write a letter to the local paper saying how outraged you are about TAFE. Inundate the local paper with letters. The second thing you can do is you can write to your Angus Taylor, your federal member of Parliament, and to Prue Goward, your state member of Parliament. They're both really on the other side of all of this, but the more letters they receive, the more anxiety you create for them, the better. We've got leaflets. I'm sure the Teachers Federation, the Save Our TAFE campaign, a whole lot of campaigns out there have material. Just stand on a street corner and hand out those leaflets to people and talk to them and say, this is what's happening. I do it. I try and do it once every 2 weeks. I try and spend an hour on a street corner somewhere in New South Wales just talking to people, saying, did you know this is happening to TAFE? Just talking to your family, getting them to do these things. Writing a letter to Mike Baird, writing a letter to John Barilaro. We've got materials on our website. If you Google my name and Day of Action, I think you'll find it. We've got materials there which are draft letters that you can use. We've got dot points for letters that you could write to politicians. Organising meetings in your workplace, organising meetings in your home. We need it. We totally need a revolution if we're not going to lose this.
Yep, so it's almost 9 o'clock, so any final questions at all? No? Thank you again to the speakers for taking time out to speak to everyone tonight. We do have some green and Australian Union sticker up the back. We have some Save TAFE brochures and a Save TAFE petition. If you'd like to sign on your way out, that's something else that you could do, our humble people. So Politics in the Pub is also held every third Monday. So the next one is on the 16th of November, and Labor is running that one, and it's about the electrification of the railway between Sydney and Canberra. That'll be a good one, and it's always held here at 7 o'clock. Thank you everyone for coming.
And the last note is that we have some of these largish stickers. We have them at home on each of our 3 garbage bins. So I'm sure that... it wasn't that much of a shock, was it? Yeah. If you have 3 garbage bins, take 3 of these. On the outside.